These are the richest people in Africa. Why most of them are whites? I don't even know. It's a story for another day. Anyway, what's the quickest way to join this list? To join the Dangotes of the world, the African billionaires? I'll share you a secret. It's not even a secret, it's out there. Just look at this as a reminder. The most profitable business in Africa. The quickest way to make money in the motherland. I know you have tried everything, you don't have the connections, you don't have the capital. The struggle is real. But carefully listen to these steps. Step number 1. Borrow, buy a Bible and a suit, preferably a pink one. Get a heart and start preaching. Call yourself pastor, evangelist, apostle, whatever, it doesn't matter. And if you can act, that's even better. Make that talent into proper use. A little bit of comedy will do the trick also.
I don't do magic. I got Jesus.
If you can play the guitar, voila, you're good to go. Any skills that you have, public speaking, anything that you have.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
I'm saying this because we must be saved. The Lord is powerful and he will smote the sinners and send them to a...
Step number 2. Now, at this point, you start performing miracles.
Water. Yeah, okay.
You don't even have to bother turning water into wine. No. You can even say, drink my tap water. And your flock, the sheep, they will manifest. It once happened to one of these pastors in Zimbabwe who made use of the placebo effect. Now, at this point, you start making money. Make sure you don't lose your soul in the process. People start following you. The more you preach, the more you get out there, the more money you start making. And I mean real money. It starts rolling.
You guys, it actually worked.
You start literally printing money. Lots of it. And you don't even have to pay taxes. Zimbabwe. Welcome to the most profitable business in Africa. It's Zimbabwe. We make videos like this as we go beyond ideas about business.
End times disciples. I would say it's infamous rather than famous because of the practices that they have.
The kingdom come, there will be that.
But in Khabula Church, we are connecting to God under the influence of liquor.
What do we call it? Life. This one eats a lot, eh?
Jesus! Jesus!
Now the question is, why are we so religious? Why is Africa so religious? Now in my quest to answer this question, I figured out that salvation is a huge deal in Africa, and statistics support this notion. People want to go to heaven or are preoccupied with the afterlife.
Guys, the billion-dollar question is, why are we so religious?
It's very difficult to separate religion from the everyday life of the African person.
Now, usually, religion in Africa, people spend 5 to 7 days a week on church stuff. The church schedule is just ridiculous. Sunday is worship day.
To the wall.
Monday, we meet for Bible study. Tuesday is leaders meeting. Wednesday is for evangelism and choir practice. Don't forget about Thursday. Women meet and discuss social issues in a biblical way. No men is allowed. Till today, I wonder what they talk about. Friday is kind of free. We might meet for bride as church members. Saturday is for rehearsals, and then we repeat the cycle again. Think about it. How do you stay productive in such a schedule? How do you maintain a job or school, a career, business, when you literally have to do church activities for 7 days? How do you take on entrepreneurship pursuits in such circumstances? Considering that we are in a developing continent, we need to develop. There's more to do. There's more things that need to be made within the continent. How do we have to develop our outer conditions when we are primarily focused in our inner issues? I get it. You need to come from within to develop the outwards, but there need to be a ratio. You can't spend the whole time, you can't spend 7 days in your inner world. You need to create the outer world. When you look closer, you realize that faith is used to displace or replace reality. Hence, miracles are a commonplace. The narrative of poverty across the continent, whether Africa is poor or not, we have come to think little of ourselves. Instead, we have lost hope as people, and now we only cling to those miracles. That's our last hope. Years of oppression, optimism, sacrifices, and desperation has left the continent with no other option but to put and faith into the unknown. When all hope is gone, you turn to God, who is the helper of the helpless. Or maybe God has already blessed you with the resources. You just need to pick yourself up and start doing something about it. Think about it.
People steal money and say Jesus is Lord, God blessed me. People will cheat and attribute it to God. And even worse than that, people will not study for an exam, right? And then say God will help me. And then you think, well, but God gave you a brain to use it. But I think even more, people will get sick and not go to hospital. So in some ways, I think that it just starts to get in the way of a certain kind of rationality. And it worries me because it has consequences for everything, our economy, everything.
Now, instead of pointing fingers,
the 6 universals, the 6 dimensions of the human condition that incline people to say yes.
Because the thing that you need to understand is that these religious leaders possess power and influence over people. The psychologist Robert Cialdini, one of the leading experts on the subject of persuasion, wrote in his famous book, Influence, and he talks about 6 principles that govern persuasive relationships.
We have been subjected to them from such an early point in our lives. They have moved us about so pervasively since then that you and I rarely perceive their power.
There is scarcity, the desire to have those things you can have less of.
People want more of what they cannot have. Now, money is scarce, and these preachers, they promise prosperity to their followers. They promise money, they promise material objects to them if they do as they're told. Hence, they are eager to give out all their possessions to this lady. The second principle of influence is liking. The truth is that we prefer people that we like. It's simple. And advertisers, especially in the commercial world, have understood this. If you see a product and there's a beautiful lady holding that product, you want to buy that product because you like the lady on the poster. Even if there is a car, you buy that product because you like the car that is behind. So the charismatic preachers who have this persona which is likable, well-spoken, in good shape, understand that likability is important. Now, it even makes sense given the frequency of the love affairs that happens between the pastors, evangelists, whatever they call themselves, and most of the lady followers. There are so many issues about affairs I wouldn't want to dwell much on that. The third principle is authority. Religious leaders hold authority. That's not a question. Especially in Africa, there was no separation between a leader and a religious leader. These were only one person. If you are the king, if you were the king, you are also the only person who is in direct contact with God. So there was no separation between this. Hence, even in this modern day society, we still hold the religious leaders with great vigor. Principle number 4 is social validation. Trust me, with this principle, this is the only way you can explain some of these miracles and why, even though these miracles, some of them, they look stupid, people still go to these churches, people still follow these leaders. Because Caldini explains that social validation also plays a part. Look, we're social creatures. At the core, we are social creatures. If everyone in your neighborhood is going to that church, if everyone at your school, at your workplace is going to that church where the leader is just doing dubious stuff, you have no option.
Look
you
at
just
this
need to
pastor
go
delivering people with skills,
you want
bro.
to feel
there is no way, man.
I'm
lost for words.
You want
Africa
also to be coherent within the social norms. Otherwise, you might be an outcast. Otherwise, you might be ostracized. I won't dwell much on what will happen, but you get the point. So, socialization also plays a big role. And in Africa, we are highly socialized. And most of these countries are run under socialism. So, hence, the religious leaders will always have the power. And then number 5 is consistency. If you believe in God, then you believe the man of God. It's simple.
Take a side.
You must be consistent. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite. Or even worse. So you just need to be consistent. You just need to keep on coming, supporting the man of God. And the final, which is the most important, and this is the only reason that they own mansions. This is the only reason that they have a lot of money. And this is the only reason, maybe not, that you might be watching this video and you want to follow the steps that I talked about in the intro. The 6th principle of influence is reciprocity. I rub your back and you rub mine. However, this is how they make most of the money. Okay? They will deliver you from your demons, and in return you repay them. Look, reciprocity is a big deal because the prophet does a lot into your life. He chases away demons. He also interprets to you that confusing book, that big book. And the least you can do is reciprocate. Parting away with your few dollars won't be a big deal, even though it's a million of you doing the same thing. And if you do the maths, it's $1 million. Now it makes sense why these guys, they move in jets, they've got mansions, and they can afford this luxury lifestyle. And these are my conclusive remarks on this issue. In reality, people will never see at the same wavelength in matters of the spiritual realm. Hence, we have different religious systems, we have different religions in different locations and different beliefs. So I'll tone it down a little. There are always two sides of a coin. And these apostles, prophets, pastors, evangelists, irregardless of all of these controversies, have actually did good things in history and still are doing this up to till this day. The fact that most of you can read and write, you are actually watching this video, and this is an indication that because of the historical religious efforts done by the missionaries, we can communicate together, we can understand each other, we can share ideas. Till this day, there are a lot of these organizations. They are helping. Now, the takeaway from this video that I leave you is always respect, accept, and tolerate. 3 words: respect, acceptance, tolerance. Thank you for watching this video. I want to know who's watching this video, so the only way is when you comment and subscribe and like. And please introduce me to your friends by just sharing this video.